All right, we're still going higher. Coming up to that high where that pivot point is. See if we can get a rejection and as I speak. See if we can get a rejection and possibly come take out some of these lows down here. Would be nice to see. We did break out of this massive range. This level right here. But we've kind of we already had the retest of that level. So that's kind of a we've already broke through it, came back and retested it, so I would like some more structure to start to form. Maybe get a pullback, take out some of these lows. We got news today. Let's see if we have news. News. No news today. Yeah, no news today, so. We have any imbalances that it needs to pull back to on like a 5-minute? Yeah, we've already pulled back. Actually, it didn't fill that imbalance. We have one imbalance right there that hasn't gotten filled. Rejecting off the highs. I don't think it took out those highs yet. Those highs are 742 level. Wait, did it? Oh, it did take out the highs. That was a while ago. Alright. Let me go, hold on. Let me go to the hourly chart. Oh, this is a high, yeah. So that high is 847. Right above that pivot point is that high. So, be interesting to see what happens here. Actually, let me mark out that level, because we kind of broke out of it. We have that big level to possibly come down as support and hold it, but we've already tested it on a shorter time frame, which is that's 742. Trying to see where it pairs up with. Okay, 742, that's that high. This thing is still pushing higher. Wow. I came on a little late, but this initial breakout would have been the best move so far. When we had this right there open up and then push through, pull back as support, and then rip higher. So you would have had a stop loss. You would have had an entry at the retest with a stop loss below those lows, and just a quick 1-to-1 would have hit. But we usually get, right, 845, 846, we'll usually get some form of a pullback for that 10 o'clock run, which we'll see if we get the pullback. If we push higher, it's a clear indication of continuation, but shorts is still key. I don't think shorts are, I mean, in my opinion, I would not be I am not looking for shorts at all. You look on a higher time frame, what is most likely, if you look on an hourly chart, right? We broke out of this massive level. So it's likely that price could pull back to that massive level, hold it as support to continue going up. Now, if it, you know, we're about to take out this next high here. So once this next high gets taken out, we could, you know, it could go down. But I just don't like looking for shorts above VWAP when it's just going against momentum or going against the flow. Which you can catch a move if you catch the top, but why catch the top when you can just go with momentum? Like, look how much opportunities you had to kind of like long positions. If somebody was trying to short there, they just got obliterated. I need to log on. I need to come faster to the office. I'm logging on too late. And then once I'm logging in, this move already happened, which I had some problems with my computer, but this would have been the move to catch. Hindsight 2020, but probably would have taken it, to be honest, if I was on the... Now we wait for something else. I have to wait for this pullback to at least maybe take out some of these lows. You know, we'll see what happens, but for me to be more confident, I gotta wait for a pullback, probably back to VWAP maybe. If this thing can pull back to VWAP, take out some of these lows, it would give me a lot more confidence in a trade. Let's see what happens. I don't think it took out that high. Did it double top it, or came super close to taking out that high, and we had a pullback off that pivot point. See those pivot points, man? I'm telling you, they work. They work. Fair value gap. I mean, it's tapping into a 1 minute gap, but is there there's no higher time frame gap, is there? A 60-minute. Thoughts on short? I mean, I don't personally take shorts off of the highs. I don't take shorts. I just don't think it's smart. Again, you're like going against momentum. Yes, you could catch a short, but why catch a short when I could just wait for a better pullback and then try to catch a long and go with the momentum of the market instead of trying to go against it. But it hasn't even taken out those highs. It's got a little bit more to take out the highs up there. So this thing can still push up. I just found based on my personal like history in trading, it doesn't work. Like, yes, I catch shorts here. It's like, yes, I'll catch a short here and there, trying to catch like the top, right? It'll sweep a level. Yes, sometimes it's like you catch one and you feel like you're on top of the world because you caught the short. But then, like, more often than not, I would just get wrecked and wrecked and wrecked and wrecked. And it's just like, you make money and then you give it all back. And then you make money and then you give it all back. And it's just like, it's a back and forth of chasing when I could just wait for something better to form and then take the trade. But the best move of the day so far was this right here. Was this right here. You can see it on a 1 minute chart. Then you can see it also on a 5 minute chart. Right? There's it on the 5 minute chart right there. And you're kind of breaking out of that level, pulling back, retesting it to go higher. we still have a little bit more room to the upside, so I feel like this is going up because of the fair value. It's still holding, yeah, it's still holding up. Unless once we start, now it's forming some structure. Once it starts breaking this structure, it's gonna start looking ugly for the bulls. And that's not saying that's gonna just go down all the way down there, but we could have an even deeper pullback if it fails to hold this. I'm not taking longs all the way, you know, at the top. And I don't take shorts at the top either when we're above. I'm really trying to focus on going with the trend in my trading. We have not taken out the high yet, so this thing still could take out the high. We could... I don't know why I'm so tired. Sorry. We could have a pullback. We could have a pretty deep pullback for that 10 a.m. move. That's possible. Alright, I think it just took out the high. Oh, not yet. Little more. Then after it takes out this high, I mean, we could drop. This could be a sweep and we could just go lower. Here, give me a second. I think someone's here. Alright. RSI 70. Yeah, RSI is at the overbought range. What? Still pushing. Crap, who is that? All right, my bad. Busy day. All right, we're sweeping those highs. So it'll be interesting to see now what happens. Now that we sweep these highs. When's the hourly candle? Right, 10 a.m. or... Assuming that's the 10 a.m. candle, so... Oh, wait. Oh, that... Oh, wait, I'm on the... What the heck? Oh, 11. So that's the... Man, I'm tripping. Alright, we'll see what happens here. So it pretty much already took out that high. Even a pullback wouldn't be bad to this, like, 740 level. So the new candle, alright, we're opening, that candle's, we'll see that 10 a.m. candle closing pretty strong, so, I mean, this 740 level would be, honestly, pretty interesting, right here. Let me actually, this is the 5-minute range high. I'm just gonna remove it so it's not confusing for me. I'll keep the low, but I'm gonna leave this 740 level. Let me go back. Yeah, this line right there would be the high. So let me see, we got 3, 2, 1. All right, so it closed pretty strong. That hourly candle closed very strong. So now it'll be interesting if we could get a pullback all the way down here to hold this level as support. Would be interesting to see if we could do that. But now that we took out the high, let's see what's gonna happen from here on out. Now, I mean, you got view up and you got all these, let me see, you got, so you got the pivot point, you got the view up pretty much right where this gold pivot point is. You got the view op, and then you got the 200 curling up too. So would be interesting to kind of see if we can kind of get price to come down here, then it would be kind of bouncing off that view op area. Would be, I would definitely be interested in something and trying something. I mean, obviously I wouldn't be too greedy because we've already taken out that high, so. Yeah, it was trying to hold this as support. So if we pushed above this pivot point, tried to hold it as support, and obviously the more we go up, kind of buyers start dying down because it's imminent for a sell-off. I mean, people take profits, I'm looking for a long. I'm personally looking for a long, but I'm waiting. I'm waiting for a pullback to go long. 25,740. Why is that? Well, if you look on an hourly chart, look at the level. It's just the area of interest, right? Look at the level right here. 25,000. Well, not exactly 740. I just said around 740. The exact 25,743 level. So this blue line I have marked out right here. Now that we kind of displaced above it, we closed very strong on the hourly chart. If we pull back this level, there's a chance this level holds as support to some extent, right? So I'm expecting buyers to start stepping in, right? Buying pressure starts dying out down there. Sellers take over. Price starts rebalancing, comes out to this level where you can expect some buyers to start to step in and defend that level, and then we could get a push up. So it's just the area of interest that looks pretty good considering where we are right now. Higher time frame support. If we do get down there. Yeah, and listen, some people do good shorting, but I don't know. I don't like shorting a trending market. I don't. I think when you go with the trend, you already put yourself above, you put yourself in such a better position. And the problem I think a lot of people short is because people are impatient. I think that's the biggest reason. Not because they have a good strategy to short, but because people are impatient, right? This is what a beginner does is when something starts moving up, they're looking for a short. They're trying to say, oh, pivot point. They're trying to short right there. It goes down a little bit, boom, gets stopped out. All right, we took out this high. Now let's try to go short again. They try to go short, boom, it pushes up, back up, stopped out again. And it's just like, why not just wait for a pullback and be patient and then go with the momentum back up? But I mean, this is an area where it could reverse. When we took out a major level, so this is an area where it could reverse. I'll go low, you go high. One of us will be happy. Yeah. But the thing about it is, even in that's the thing about trading, even in that position, both people could be wrong. Like a person can go long, a person can go short, depending on where their stop losses are. Both traders can get stopped out. Or both traders can make money. I've seen it where I actually had a time where it was me and another trader. So another trader went, I think he went short, and I went long, pretty much at the same time. This was just coincidentally. This wasn't even like I just noticed. I made money on the trade, and he made money on the trade, and both of us took opposing positions. So but this thing is having trouble here. It's all right if it keeps curving up. Only thing is, I would have to have my that view op is still curving up. Bull flag? There's a little bull flag, yeah. There's a little bull flag, but it's a 1 minute bull flag. It's, we'll see if it holds. Is there any gaps on like a 5 minute that price would need to... Let's see. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple unfilled gaps. Also, that 743 level that I have marked out, it's pretty much right above it. There's a pretty big gap. A lot of wicks in this area here, so you see a lot of sellers trying to step in. But it is forming a flag here. We'll see what happens if this flag breaks out. I hope it doesn't, because I need a pullback to take a trade. What's the flag mean? It's a bull flag, meaning prices potentially could break to the upside. You see it right here? This is a flag. When you have an initial move like that, right? When you have an initial move like that, so here's the pull, and then you have right there. And right there. Typically this is like a bullish price action. But I've seen it where price does break below the flag, take out the low of the flag, and then rip back up to the upside. So that's something you gotta pay attention to. Just because a flag is forming does not mean it's just gonna break to the upside without, you know, it's like a guaranteed break to the upside. I've seen it come down, take out lows before it actually rips up. But that's pretty much what a flag is. Now, this is just a 1 minute flag. I don't know if it doesn't hold as much weight as a higher time frame one. We'll see what happens though. Alright, taking out the low. Let's see if this thing starts ripping back up. I personally hope it doesn't. I hope this thing pulls back. I'm kind of... Alright, we're pulling back. What kind of sucks is, man, if I would have got that initial move this morning, I don't know why, but my computer was just like... I was loading up NinjaTrader and it logged on, and then for some reason it kicked me out. I don't know why. But I ended up logging in late. And... this initial break and retest was the best one. You had the 9:30 open, right? Market opened. We had the pullback. And then we started breaking back above, holding that level. So. It's alright. But you gotta wait with the only thing you gotta be, if you want to trade market open, you got to be extra careful with it takes out lows a lot of times. You can see how it took out the low before. So it opened up, pulled back, it took out that low before it actually made the move up. And if you would have just took the breakout, right? You would have took the breakout and then you would have just got stopped out and then it would have made the move. So you got to be careful with that, especially in market open territory. Market open likes to take out lows first before making the initial move. So when a low gets taken out and then it breaks out, that's the best, that's the ideal. All my indicators said bull and I logged in late. Feels bad. Yeah, we were very bullish. I had no intention of shorting this morning. We're very bullish. I mean, we're holding above UOP pretty aggressively. Yeah, no problem. Let's see how deep this thing can pull back to. NVIDIA just bought 2 billion worth of data space for AI. Dang. NVIDIA, is NVIDIA ripping? NVIDIA is probably... Yeah, and I said we could get a... I mean, this is an area where we could pull back because, again, we took out that high. So, now how deep is this pullback going to be? Now we're taking out... Well, we haven't taken out that low. Here, buyers are stepping back in. Holy crap, really aggressively. Looks like some buyers are averaging in because it's an aggressive move up. Dang. Oh man, 9:43. Done for. Yeah, we'll see. It's retesting. This could be a fake out. If this thing pushes the highs again, it's gonna... Damn, come on. NASDAQ. Ugh. Yeah, and as time goes on, I mean, if this thing... I hope it pulls back soon, because I definitely don't want to go long at like 11 o'clock or around 11 o'clock. That's also not the smartest idea. Or around 10:30, that's also not... And how many people are probably getting wrecked right now because they tried to go short? They're starting to get scared because if this thing breaks out of the high, I'm assuming all the people that went short have their stops above this high. So, if this thing breaks above the high, all those people are going to get stopped out short. Yeah, there's no reason to. Listen, if I go with momentum, and I get stopped out, guess what? Well, it's a good trade. I got stopped out. It is what it is. At least I went with momentum. But if I'm going against the trend and get stopped out, I'm just like, I just beat myself up about it because it's just like, it's stupid. It just, I feel like when people do that, now, mind you, there are some people, like I said, there are some people who actually have a strategy that make money doing that. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about people that just like, they go against momentum and they make trading harder than it needs to be. It's like, it's trying to get to a destination. Like, say you're trying to get to some destination that's above the river, and all you have to do is go with the river, and the river goes around to that destination. But you're not doing that. You're not going with the river. You're going trying to swim against it. And the more you try to swim, then you get tired. And it's the same principle, because the more you try to go against the market, you get mentally fatigued, right? There's this mental fatigue that happens because you only have so much brain capital to take trades. After a while, when you take a loss after a loss, you start to go until your emotional capital is just getting drained. There it is. There's the stop out. So all those people just got stopped out. I'm telling you, if a lot of people could just implement that very simple rule, it could transform your trading. That's also why I like to take trades. That's why I also say a pullback. I would like a pullback down here, because guess what happens? If price could actually pull back all the way down here, now we become at a good area where price is discounted. Also, if I take a trade down here, look at all the levels I have. I have the 200. I have the pivot point right there. I have the view op. And if I put my stop somewhere below here, if I can enter the trade here and then have my stop below the pivot point, below the view op, below the 200, there's so much levels that hold price up before it has to get to my stop. So I have an extra level of defense against it going to my stop. And it could hit my stop, and if it does, it's fine. But the probability is it goes higher than it hits my stop. Probability-wise. Come delta. You gotta look at the come delta. Why exactly? It's traders wanting to take a trade so badly, and that's the problem. Traders want to take a trade so badly. The only trade to take, if you really want to take a trade, the only trade to take is a short, because longs we've already pushed up so high, and they're like, I'm not taking longs, so I'm gonna look for a short because there's more room down to the downside than the upside right now. Theoretically speaking, right? This thing is still ripping. Holy. This would be an interesting break and retest, but man, I'm not confident in that. I hate taking trades up here. You just marked out a textbook bull flag. Yeah, I know. I just don't trade bull flags. Remember I said, if you're in my live, what did I say happens during bull flags? Right? I said, be careful. It doesn't have to just immediately break out. A lot of times what it does is it comes down, it takes out the low before it actually makes the move higher. So, there it is. And somebody that doesn't know that probably got stopped out and then it ended up going in their direction. It's just something you gotta be aware of. It doesn't happen all the time, but so like you say, pullback entries. Yeah, pullback entries are like, this may be a good trade coming up, but again, we've already pushed up so high. It's like it's a low probability retest. This thing could go higher. It's just, I hate when we're this far away from the view op. I just don't. I'm less confident. The closer we get to view op, the more confident I am in setups. The farther away we get from view op, then I'm less confident in the trades, because I know there's an imminent pullback coming up. Just like this pullback happened, I know a pullback could happen. It could, you know, this level may not hold and then just keeps going lower. It's like, it's better to be picky as a trader, right? Have specific rules, be picky, and it typically works out better when you're picky. Now, you can't be too picky where you're just like never taking a trade because you're so picky. But the pickiness you're able to have from just time in the market, right? Just knowing that probability-wise, I will have a better probability if I wait for price to pull back closer to that view up area. Like this level I have marked out as an area of interest here, like 743 level. So it's been an amazing level to try to long off of. And it's fine, it's the beginning of the week, you know. And that's a problem, yeah. Problem is patience. That's a problem with a lot of traders. Patience is the main problem with a lot of traders. And that's why you see people going against the trend, because they don't have the patience. Maybe they missed out on, I've seen this happen so many times where a trader misses out on a long, right? Say somebody wanted it to go long here and price ended up going without them. They missed out on the long, and then immediately they're shifting their bias to looking for shorts. It's like, bro, you were just looking for a long and now all of a sudden you're looking for shorts. So they missed out on a long, now they're looking for shorts. Now they take a short. All right, it goes a little bit in profit. They get excited, boom, they get stopped out. It's like, crap. All right, let's see this. All right, takes out this high. All right, it took out this high. Let's go. All right, look at this candle breaking out with momentum down to the downside. Let me try to go short. They go short, boom, breakout, back up to the highs. See if this pullback holds. It'd be interesting to see. It could hold. I mean, what if today's just a trending day to the upside? You never know. And we're coming into that 1030 mark. That's a level and a time frame I am very aware of. 1030, we get these shorts. Sometimes the market just ends up just completely dumping to the downside around 1030. So that's another reason why I would not want to take this long right here, is I know that a dump could be imminent. If this was still like fresh, if this was the same structure right here, if this structure was like 940 area, if it was still fresh in the morning, I would 100% take it. And if this was the sort of structure that was fresh in the morning, we were right at view up, this would be a perfect setup to take. But since this setup is all the way up here, right, and it's 1030, and you know, we could get a possible setup, and it's way up here, it's just like automatically becomes a lower probability setup. Yeah, I would say this one looks more like a short, but again, I don't short up here, so, but yeah, I could see why. Now, this thing could still go up. 100%. This thing could still just be trending to the... Right now, it's like, it's technically still in bullish structure, right? It's still holding this as... Until this starts to form some structure and break to the downside, it's still holding, right? We're not even making lower, like... We're not making lower highs, right? Ever since... You could see, look at this. We made a high, made a higher high. Made another higher high. Made another higher high. Made another higher high. And it was just like, then took out a low and broke out of that high. So we're not showing anything that we're going down, but at the same time, right, we're in a time where this thing could start going down. And if you do take a short, just be mindful of the sentiment you're in. You know, don't be greedy and think this is gonna just drop all the way down. Like, take your base hits and walk away if that's something you do. Ugh. Still trying to hold it, but now if this thing can't hold this level, we're probably going for this low here. We do have a gap in the way. It could bounce off that gap. But if it can't hold that level, then starts being a red flag, right? More bulls start to get freaked out of the position. But there are gaps. I mean, these 1 minute gaps aren't like, they don't hold much weight in terms of, because it's just a 1 minute gap versus if you have an hourly gap, that's a whole different story. Trying to hold this pivot point here. Can they do it? Can they do it? Yeah, they're having trouble, so. I mean, at some point, right, what is view up? View up is the volume weighted average price. So at some point, it's going to want to retrace to its average price. Right now, we're in overbought territory. So once we get in overbought territory, we start to have pullbacks. Price tends to start going down to its average price. The market starts to correct itself in a sense. That was a demand zone? Yeah, it is a demand zone, but it's a low probability because we've already pushed up so much. Like I said earlier, if this setup was down here earlier in the morning, near view op, this would be a perfect trade that I would 100% take this trade. But since we're at 10:30, which is a time that we get sell-offs, and we're, you know, it's just, and we've pushed up so much at this point where I'm not even interested in taking this trade even on lower size. I would just rather preserve my capital for a good setup. That's it. Because that's what I realized what I've been doing lately. Like, I've been taking low quality trades and like, oh, this is a low probability setup, I'm just gonna take it on light size. But it's still stupid because it's like you're taking a low probability setup on light size, but guess what? Light size adds up. If you have a loss after a loss, that light size starts to add up to some decent size, right? So I'm trying not to like be tempted to take low probability setups. All right, give me a second. Yeah, it's a 100. This would be this would be a perfect trade if it was by view up. I'm too scared to take this trade just because of the time frame and where we're at. Like I don't know. It just doesn't seem smart to me. And I'm looking at it in terms of, I'm looking at it in terms of mental capital, right? Here, give me a second. Let me do this stupid puzzle. Yeah, I was waiting for this thing to dump, but... looks like it doesn't want to dump. I'm looking at this also in terms of like, all right, if I do take this trade and it works out and goes to the highs, awesome. But if I don't, if this thing doesn't work out, I'm gonna beat myself up about why did I take that trade? Why? It's like you know 1030 mark, there's sell-offs. You know you shouldn't do that, and it's just like it's better not to. So, and like I said, this level here would have been beautiful. This hourly level. You go on an hourly chart. If you go on an hourly chart, I mean, look at that level right there. That's the pullback I wanted to see. Boom. Let's pull back into this big demand zone right there. And try to get a trade off of that area. But sadly, it's not been given the pullback. And at that point, like, ask yourself, look at the hourly chart. Ask yourself, do you really want to short all the way? I mean, or a long, sorry. If I was to take a long here, I'm literally taking a long at the very top of the market. Now, ask yourself that. Is it smart to take a long at the very top of the move when right where we've swept a massive level? Probably not. Instead, the best thing to do would be wait for a pullback, a deeper pullback, and then... patience. Patience. That's the hardest part about trading is patience. Look at your daily chart. What's up with the daily chart? I have to look at it on my other. I mean, it's probably at on a daily chart. It's I'm looking right now, real quick. Yeah, I mean, we're at the top. Yeah, on a daily chart, we're at the very top. So we're technically in overbought territory. Yeah, I mean, this was... Listen, it was a trade that would have worked out. Well, not exactly yet, because we have not taken out that high yet, but... Looks like this trade would have worked out, you know? But... Again, low probability in my eyes, so... Anytime, and I like to think about it this way. You gotta ask yourself this question. If you take the trade, are you going to be more happy or more mad? Like, how mad will you be? Ask yourself this. How mad will you be if you lose this trade? Ask yourself that question. Every trade you take, you have to ask yourself, how mad will I be if this trade is a loss? And if you tell yourself that I'm going to be pissed off because there's certain things that are red flags that are telling me not to take this trade, and if I go against those red flags and I take a trade, if I lose money, then I'll be really mad, then it's probably best not to take a trade. You want to be in the mindset of your setup is so good that you're taking a trade, and if I lose this trade, I'm not going to be mad at all. That's the mindset you want to be in. Yeah, I'm just trolling. I wouldn't take you. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's like, in hindsight, obviously, like, these kind of trades, in hindsight, you're like, oh, the trade would have worked out. You should have took it, you know? I know you're trolling, but there are people that would say that. They just look at hindsight 2020 and then, you know. And we never even took out the highs. It still has not taken out the highs. So technically, TP would not get hit yet. We're just like, and think about it this way too. If you're taking a long, in order for your long to work out, you need to step into the trade, and then you need volume to come in after you, right? That's the whole point of you hitting TP, is volume comes in after you've gotten into the trade, then volume comes behind you and you go to TP. And when we're coming up on 1040 and we've already pushed up so much, we're at the very top of the market. If you take a long, do you think that there's going to be a lot of volume stepping in behind your long? Because let's face it, most people probably are already taking profits, right? People are already taking profits up here. So you're trying to long into an area where most people have already taken profits, which in turn, there's no volume coming in after your trade, and then you either get stuck in chop or you get stopped out. That's also why the closer we get to 11 o'clock, the less likely I want to take a trade, because I know volume starts to die down, and I need volume behind my trade in order for it to hit TP. No volume, then it's not going to go anywhere. It's just going to go sideways or down. No, this still goes up. Yeah, TP technically would not have gotten hit. I would have had my TP at the body candle highs. That's why I say. Now, if it starts breaking this structure, this starts to look ugly. If it starts really displacing below this low, that's the first sign that we're going lower. That's the first market structure change. And this thing could really dump. All right, see if this thing takes out the low, and then yeah, once it starts displacing below that low, it starts to look ugly. So far, it's sweeping it. I always need TP when I dump. Oh, that's hilarious. Is definitely ready to change flow. Breakout bear putting puts looking delicious. Yeah, possibly. If we start displacing below this pivot point right here, if we start displacing below that and then it comes back up and holds it as resistance, boom, there's your sign that we can continue going lower. This is the first sign. This is the first kind of lower low of the whole entire morning since market opened. This right here is the first red flag of the morning for a possible position that this thing's gonna go lower, because we made a high. Now we're making a lower high, showing that buyers don't have enough strength to keep it pushing. Lower high. Now we start breaking below this structure. What are you trading? NASDAQ. NASDAQ. So that's that. I'm gonna shoot. Probably be hopping off soon. I'm not gonna get, at this point, I'm not gonna get a trade. Hypothetically, even if this thing starts dumping all the way down here, by the time it dumps all the way to this level I had marked out, area of interest, it's going to be like almost 11 o'clock, and I'm not about to take a trade right at 11 o'clock and then get stuck and chop for the next. I've done that before. I've done that before. I'm like, I'm just going to take a quick a quick trade. It was around 11 o'clock. I take a quick trade, and guess what happens? I get stuck in chop, and I'm sitting on the computer for like an hour and a half waiting for either me to get stopped out or take profit, which I do not want to get stuck in that. So failure at last week's high was suspect. Yeah. We're, I mean, you look at the market overall right now, we're bullish, you know? So, I could see why somebody would want to go short, but at the same time, it's just like, I don't know. This kind of crap happens, right? This is what happens, like it looks good, but you're going against the flow, and at any moment, volume comes in. These buyers start coming in out of nowhere, and then you get it stopped out if you went short. I don't know. It's just never, if it works for you, awesome. It's just never worked for me. It looks good on social media, right? When somebody posts social media and they caught the freaking high and they're able to draw the little red box showing that they risked only this much money and they made all this money. That's what I noticed. A lot of TikTok traders, social media traders, what they like to do is draw these green and red boxes. You have no idea if he actually took that trade. It looks good on a chart because, right, he drew a little red box and then a massive green box, so it looks like he risked a little bit of money and he's, you know, in profit all this amount, but realistically, he just marked it out. He didn't even take the trade. Dang, we're still pushing higher. So, took out that low and buyer stepped back in. This may be starting to form like a head and shoulders. If you look at, obviously hasn't formed yet, but you got the shoulder, you got the head, and if this thing can break out of this high right here, there's your head and shoulder. They don't show you the 10 attempts to short before that where they got stopped. Exactly. Bro, it's, I don't know why, like, and they give the wrong idea, and then you get other traders that watch, And if I take a loss, right? If I'm the trader who actually shows the losses and everything, and then I'm the trader who goes, "Oh, you're a shitty trader," like, because they're so used to seeing profit. This person's up, this person's up, this person's up, this person has a green, it shows that they're little green box and prices in the green box, so it looks like they made money. And it's like people do that, and then people have multiple accounts, right? Where they're just switching accounts. They take a loss on one account, they switch to another account. Like, I don't know. It's just, it gives trading they're not helping anybody, right? They're not helping anybody. They're hurting, if anything, beginners, because beginners are the ones who are fooled by that, and then they have this expectation that, right, you can be a trader who's always like in profit, like you somehow figured out the market to where every trade you take is you're profitable, which in reality that just does not happen. So, but you know why? It's to sell a course, right? If you have a course that you're trying to sell on TikTok or whatnot, if you have a course that you're trying to sell, it doesn't look good when you're taking losses for business, right? Like, people are less inclined to buy your course when you lost money today. So obviously they're not going to want to show their losses because they won't be able to sell more courses. What's your thoughts on it creating lower highs right now? Yeah, it's still in bullish structure. Like I said before, like this was the first red flag right there, but it would need to displace below. This is a sweep. It would need to first displace. That displacement is then the second confirmation, and then when it comes back up and retests it, there's the third confirmation that it's going lower. So you formed the lower high. Now you displace below this low right here, so you displace below it. There's your second red flag. You come up and retest it, and it's starting to go lower. There's your third red flag. But we didn't displace. We just formed a lower high. That's it. Also, one thing. Actually, no, never mind. This is not. My bad. It's not a Head and Shoulders. This would have needed to be up here, but yeah, looks like we're going for the high again. This has a feeling of the mid-2000s when the course sellers first hit Twitter. Same thing. Yeah. This like course seller stuff is like, I don't know, man. It just feels like in an industry where the failure rate is so high, like you're not helping it. And you're like when you sell a course, say you sell a course for thousands of dollars, statistically, most people buying your course are not going to be profitable. Just statistically, right? So you're statistically understanding that you're just taking their money, knowing that you're not going to be able to help them be a good trader. Like, you have courses out there that not trading courses that, what do? Right? If you're not satisfied, if you don't see results, if you can't, like, I know like the car business, right? The car business where people like sell a course to teach you how to buy cars, and they make it so they're like, if you don't make money, if you don't get at least your money back, they'll refund you your full amount that you paid for the course. But trading, they're not going to do that. And they understand that most likely the person buying the course is probably not going to be profitable. There's a very low chance. And this is why I tell people never to buy a course. If you can't be disciplined enough, if you don't like this enough to be able to do the research yourself and do everything yourself, then you probably should not be trading and buying a course, because a course doesn't make it easier, right? He's laying down his information, which you don't even know if his strategy is even profitable, if it's even going to work with you. Because the strategy may be profitable, but it just may not work for you because your personality just doesn't work for it. If you have the knowledge, why not sell it? But selling basic info making seem better. It's just I don't know. It's just me. I don't know if I just maybe have a conscience to where it would bother me. All the information is for free online. Yes, I would be packaging up all the information and laying it out to you on a platter. But it's charging. I'm not saying courses are bad. I'm saying charging thousands of dollars for a course, that's kind of if you're selling a course and you're charging $200, it's that makes sense, right? Because the information may all be online for free, but you're laying it out perfectly for the person to where you should start learning this first, then go to this, and you're laying it out perfectly. So if you're charging $200, knowing that the person's probably not going to be profitable, it's one thing. It's it's $200. It's not but if you're charging a person thousands of dollars, then it becomes kind of, And listen, if somebody's actually a good trader with verified broker statements and this and that, hey, do what you want to do. There's nothing wrong with selling a course if you truly have the value that most people don't have, that you're actually a profitable trader and you have verified broker statements, you trade a lot, you doing all this, and you want to teach people to help people, then it's different. But we just have too much people on TikTok where they're trading out of their mom's basement. They're freaking, they're in their tiny ass little room that's messy and he has clothes on the floor and he's charging a crazy amount for a Discord or a course or whatnot. It's bro, we know why you're trying to sell a course, because you're not making money trading, so you're just trying to make money off of people of selling a course. There's so much in this industry, it's just wild, man. And then they bought their stream to where you see a trader online with 1,000 viewers. Bruh, he doesn't have 1,000 viewers. He's botting. A lot of the traders bought their stream. So it looks like 1,000 people are watching him. So when the few actual people that watch him, they're wow, 1,000 people are watching him, so he probably is a good trader. Oh, he sells a course. Let me try to buy his course, and all this is why they do all this. I trade. Trading, I trade for fun, right? Because I enjoy trading. I don't need to sell a course. I don't need the problem. Other problem is especially 20-year-olds, 20-something-year-olds, they don't want to work. It's yeah, trading is fun. Trading could absolutely change your life. But then they're just they try to sell courses because they don't want to get an actual job. They don't want to work physically. They don't want to learn a skill that's valuable, that you can provide value to society, right? They want the easy way out, which trading is not the easy way out. It's a very difficult skill to attain, especially if you want to trade in a live market. Everybody wants the get-rich-quick scheme. Everybody wants the easy way out. Everybody wants to take a trade and make $1 million off of one trade and get lucky. And this is why you have all these, all these sites that are popping up with, the gambling sites and all this. And yeah, the sad reality, listen, the sad reality is trading is not for everyone. Like, it's just not for everyone. It just may not be the thing for you. And so, and that's fine. That's completely fine. Trading is not the only thing you can make like a lot of money in. There are a lot of other things that you can make a lot of money. You can make a lot of money off of anything. You can make a lot of money off of being a mechanic. Technically, you could possibly make way more money saying being a mechanic or doing like air conditioning or something. Like, people become multi-millionaires off of, right? They learn a skill like welding or air conditioning or mechanic or anything else. They learn that skill, they open up their own business, and they start printing money. So it's not, don't think that trading is the one thing that like can, that's going to change your life. There's a lot of other things that could absolutely transform your life if you put the time and effort into learning that skill. But it's with anything, whether it's a mechanic, whether it's trading, whether it's HVAC, whatever it is, any skill that you can make a lot of money, it's going to require you, right, to put in that time, years and years of experience to get to that point. So just overall, from what me saying about this is, do what you love, right? If trading is something you love and you find interesting and you could sit at the chart and you could be patient and you could develop the skills, then yeah, trade. But if it's something else, if you like working on cars, then do that. Majority should dollar cost average and do something. Dollar cost average, or does that mean something else? DC. What is DCA and do something else? Yeah, yeah, I would say majority of people should probably. I mean, you could still trade, right? Like with prop firms and stuff like that, there's a very low barrier to entry. So, I mean, you could buy an account and you could just trade for fun. And, but in order to get good at trading, you have to love it. You have to love it, or else it's just not going to be. Oh, for investments, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's like a majority of people should, right? And this is not financial advice, but, you have a 401k or whatever, you diversify, you put some money in the S&P 500, you put some money in the NASDAQ. It's a very safe way, right? It's like, it's a long-term hold. You're just dollar cost averaging. Every time the market sells off, you buy more S&P 500, you buy more NASDAQ, long-term hold. I mean, that's the safest place that's the way most people should do it. I've been trading for 20 years. It's one of the hardest things to do. Yeah, it is. 100%. It's one of the hardest things to do because you're battling against yourself. And you never get to a point in your trading to where, right, like you're emotionless, right? You never have emotions. You never like, trading is always going to be difficult because you're battling against yourself. You are your own worst enemy in trading. That's the hard part. People are impatient, and the more time goes on where people are distracted by social media, right? People want this dopamine hit of like TikTok, and every video you're like 3 seconds, boom. If the first 3 seconds you're not entertained, you're skipping to the next video. And that's detrimental for trading because trading requires patience. It requires you to sit there and be patient and wait for a good setup. So social media, this whole social media and fast dopamine hit has not made it easier for people to be good traders. It made it harder for people to be good traders because people are always looking for that quick dopamine hit. So they're taking counter trend trades, they're not being patient, and it's just something that, like, let's face it, right? If you can't be patient in trading, you're never going to be profitable if you can't be patient. If you can't be disciplined in trading, you're never going to be profitable. Yeah, you can trade these prop firm accounts and kind of get lucky, take a payout here and there, but to actually be a good trader that can take a live account and build up that account over time, yeah. And we're all learning, right? I mean, I've been trading for 3 years and I'm still learning. I'm still learning to the point And it's very difficult of not like having the comparison by it. Like comparison, what is it? You know how they say comparison is a thief of joy, right? I'm in a completely different journey of my trading than another person that's just starting out. And the other person that's been trading for 11 years is on a completely different journey than me. So that's why I come into the market, I'm trying to learn every single day. I'm trying to, if I take a loss after a loss, I'm trying to figure out what I did wrong, what I could, is there anything I could have done better? Was I too focused on the lower time frame? Could I have been more focused on the bigger time frame, waited for a higher time frame breakout? What got you into trading? I was just curious. I mean, so I got into trading because of, I don't know if any of you know who this is, but he's like kind of like the OG in trading, to be honest, with the social media space, is Ricky Gutierrez. He's the one who actually got me into trading. This was so long ago. This was back when trading wasn't even like, trading was back then was not even anything that a lot of people did. This was back before prop firm days. This was back in the day when you had to fund a live account to actually, you know, if you wanted to trade with money. And he still actually posts videos, but his videos are kind of like it's more of like market, like stuff going on in the market. It's not trading videos. But he's the one who got me into trading. He was like, when he was, I think he was in his early 20s back then. And yeah, I mean, it's like, you look at, he was living the good life. I mean, he was making, back then, he was making like $500 a trade. And back then I thought, I was like, dang, dude, this dude's making like 500 bucks a trade. This dude's driving like, you know, a McLaren. This dude's freaking living in a house, like a big house. It was just like, it seemed like a fun thing to do. It's not even the cars, right? It's not the cars. It's not the house that got me intrigued. It's the fact that you can put money into something and then you can take that money to make more money. If you can learn a skill. So the idea that I can make $200 in less than a minute, that's what intrigued me. And it seems like, you know, in the beginning it seems easy because it's like, oh, if you're looking in hindsight, it's like, oh, I could have took this trade and made this much money. I could have taken a trade here and made this much money. And it's like, but, you know, then you start trading and realize it's a lot harder than it looks. Yeah, and it's something I love and I look forward to in the mornings, right? I look forward to trading in the mornings. I find it fun, especially when you can take a good trade and you're patient, and then finally a good setup comes and you take that setup and you make, you know, I have seven accounts, so if you make 200 times 7 accounts, it's a decent amount. And you're just like, it just feels good to be able to develop a skill that you know. And I think trading, to be honest with you, I think trading gives a lot of people hope, right? Because especially in today's economy, a lot of people are struggling. A lot of people are, you know, in spots where, and trading gives people hope, especially with prop firms. A lot of people shit on prop firms, but prop firms can change your life. If you learn how to trade, and if you're not, you know, if you're not stupid and you're just blowing account every single day, if you're like careful and you're actually learning the skill, it gives you the hope and like that I could get this like $40,000 payout that could transform my life. I could get this $50,000 payout. And so it does give a lot of people hope and like almost like a purpose of like they see the light at the end of the tunnel. Because the worst spot you could be in life is where like you're working a job you hate and you don't see a way out of it. That's when people that's when people fall into some dark places, when they're in a spot where they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, where they don't see a way out of their miserable job. And trading gives a lot of people that hope of like, I see people making a lot of money in trading, and if I can even trade a sim account, even if you don't have any money and don't invest any money into trading, you can absolutely get a free sim account and just learn the skill. And if you can prove to yourself that you can make money in a sim account, and then eventually you buy $100 evaluation account, and then you can actually start scaling and taking payouts and stuff like that, it's, you know, it gives people that hope. But all right, I gotta stop talking. I'm gonna so just a quick recap. No trades for me today. No trades for me today. I was looking for a deeper pullback. I was hoping for a pullback back into this like 743 level down here. I was really hoping for that pullback. The only trade of the day that I could have taken, which I didn't because, like I said, I logged in late. I logged in like 8 minutes late after market open. And this was the first kind of good setup, I would say, right here in the morning. We had this high right here. And again, this is something you got to be careful of because when market opens, it likes to take out lows. So it's usually best when there's a low this close, it's best to wait for that low to get taken out first. So as you see, when market opened, we dropped, that low got taken out, and immediately volume stepped aggressively back into the market. So then I would look for that retest. So boom, candle closes up there. I would look for that retest of that high to potentially go higher with a stop below the swing low. And then boom, retest that level and it went up. So this was the only setup of the morning, technically. Trades up here, you know, it's just like there were trades to take up here, but they're lower probability. And like I said, I want to stay out of these low probability trades. And we're still going up. I mean, we didn't get the initial pullback that I wanted for this other trade, but it's the way it be sometimes. It's fine. We'll come back tomorrow. We'll see what tomorrow brings. Market's pretty slow today. Anyway, good discipline, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah. If anything, listen. If I can show you anything, it's like at least if I can show you that trading does require discipline, and it's okay. It's okay to come into the market and not take a trade, right? Because most traders, you won't see that. Everybody's always trying to take a trade for entertainment. So if I can at least show new traders that trading does require discipline, and if you come into the market and you don't take a trade, that's a good sign. That's a sign that you're becoming a disciplined trader. And that's perfectly fine to sit on your hands. It's better than taking a low probability trade and taking a loss. So yeah, but other than that, I appreciate you guys for stopping by. It was fun, like always. I'm gonna head out. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Stay safe, stay disciplined, follow your rules, and yeah, don't blow your account. Just be patient. It's fine. Tomorrow is gonna come. Even if you lost money today, it's fine. It's fine. Do not blow your account. Walk away. Get some fresh air. Touch some grass or snow. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day. Peace out.